Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Total Football Talk. We had Manchester United play Newcastle last night, and I did do a match reaction, but I just didn't post it. Should have, didn't. Yeah, it was for United fans. I think it was unbelievably tough to take that. In my kind of look before the game, I felt that us getting anything from the game was going to be really, really difficult. And I'm not surprised that we actually didn't get anything from the game. The first 15 minutes, maybe first 20 minutes, Newcastle blew us away. Got a couple of goals, and it was difficult to watch because we were getting ripped apart. There was another stage where Isaac was through one on one and tries to dink the goalkeeper. In the end, it looks like it's a bit of a wasteful shot. He had the opportunity to do a lot more. And then after that, it was just Newcastle maybe took the foot off the gas. I'm not entirely sure what they did, but they kind of went a little bit easy on us. And we had opportunities. We got back into the match. Yoro went close with a header towards the end. Maguire hit the post with a header to try to follow up the rebound, and it was good clearance. Not quite off the line, but it's kind of 6 yards out. But all in all, it's an it's just hard. It's hard to watch this team at the minute, and we're suffering. Everyone's suffering, and this is kind of cathartic. This is an opportunity for me just to kind of talk my way through this because I don't really know where we go from here. I, as I said before, I backed Amarin. I still back him. I think he understands the problems of this club. He knows that they're deep rooted. He knows that there's a lot of things that need to change. Um, like last night, the fan base went in on Xerxes. Xerxes maybe didn't have the best game, but the way I look at it is he wasn't the only one who could have been taken off at that stage. Casemiro wasn't good. Ericsson wasn't good. They were just literally passing the ball around United's midfield. Like they weren't even there. Unfortunately, these guys are great players, but I think they've had their day. Ericsson's due to go to a free in the summer, and he'll probably go. Casemiro's on massive wages, and unfortunately, he's just the Premier League's just too quick and too fast, and I don't think he can cope anymore. One of the best central defender midfielders you'll have ever seen. 10 years at Madrid, and we got one good year out of him. And he was brilliant in the first year, potentially player of the season that year, but he's just fallen off, and the Premier League has kind of bypassed him. It's too fast, it's too quick, and he can't cope. When you've got a midfield of those two that can't cope, we are massively in trouble. Things changed slightly when Manu came on. Manu's had a bit of stick recently. He's only coming back from injury. He's a kid. He deserves time. He deserves a bit more. He doesn't deserve some of the stick he's been getting. But he really needs the opportunity just to kind of grow back into the team. But unfortunately, the way the team's playing at the minute, he's not being offered that opportunity. And I think Amarin's trying to, from my point of view, he's trying to save him from some of the grief that the team are getting collectively. So I'm not. It's awful. It's just absolutely dreadful. It's hard to watch, and I think this is where you're going to find out who's kind of with the team and who's not. People are going to drop off. My dad spoke about the team in the late 70s that got relegated, and he said that even though they went down, they still went down with a fight. They tried to play good football, and they were just in many occasions beat by the better team. They went down, they got relegated. Are United going to get relegated this year? I mean, the R word, are we going to use it? I don't know at this stage. I don't think so. I think there's still a way out of this. I think there's still teams in this league that are worse than us, despite the fact that we're absolutely dreadful. Um, so can he turn it around? He needs help. He came out in his press conference and he talked about essentially not having funds, and the only way to have funds is by selling players. As I said in my pre-match, these players have been awful. The board have actually said that they've stripped the club back, but they haven't stripped the players back. Are they going to strip any of these players out in January? The ones that need to go, the ones that they can sell on, make a bit of money, and try and bring in one or two players. Like I don't think you can bring in 4 or 5 players in the January transfer window. I just generally don't think it take too long to do all those deals. But I think he needs one or he needs two to freshen the squad up and give him chance, give himself a bit of hope to kick on and turn this around. It's just, and you could go in on lots of different players, but as a group collectively they're struggling. And I do think what happened to Xerxes was absolutely shocker. The poor lad, he's in his early 20s, he's still finding his feet at Manchester United. And yeah, he didn't have a good game, and he probably was maybe out of his depth. The game is much faster here in the Premier League, but can he cope? And maybe he was, when he came off, he went down the tunnel, and then he was. We don't know why he came back. Maybe he was sent back. Maybe he had to go off. He had to go down the tunnel for, I don't know, toilet break. Who knows? We'll maybe never get to the bottom of that one. But to jeer him and boo him and give him a lot of grief. He's a Manchester United player, and as I said, maybe he did deserve to come off, as did maybe others. But he's taking the brunt of it. So I do feel for him, because he's a young lad, and do you recover from that? I mean, you've got to have a strong mentality. I think that's the thing about playing for Manchester United. You've actually got to have an unbelievably strong mentality to cope with the weight of that jersey, the weight of the badge, the weight of the club, and the expectation that comes along with playing for the club. And these players are just not. They're just not living up to it. They're just struggling day in, day out, week in, week out to project any form of will and desire to want to give anything back to us, the supporters, that we invest so much time and energy into this club, and we many of us love the club, and it's just so difficult to watch these players that are so well paid, incapable of actually making a difference on that football field. But said, all said and done, Newcastle were the better team. Newcastle deserved the win. They got off the flyer. They took their foot off the gas a little bit, give us opportunities to get back into the game. We didn't take any of them. Hoyland had one chance where he went through 1-on-1. It was a narrow angle and it was very, very close. But I mean, even if you score one, where we were getting the second goal from, I don't know. We didn't have Bruno or Agate in midfield. Big misses. I mean, Bruno is getting a lot of stick this season. I found it difficult to kind of cope with his petulance and his ability to go for the Hollywood pass, the long balls, whenever sometimes he should just be given it simpler. I think he has been trying. I think he has been trying to kind of move the ball quicker and simpler this since Amarin's come in, but it's deep rooted in his DNA to take those chances and to move the ball quickly forward. Sometimes when it's not really on, and we probably did miss him last night. We definitely missed Ugarte last night. So they were massive, massive misses. But I don't even know if we had had them, whether we still would have got anything from the game, because Newcastle were just so fast out of the traps. They knew they could just get at us. They did. And they well deserved what they got from the game. So, obviously Amarin's talked a lot in his press conference. Other people will probably document it a lot better than I will, because I'm going to keep this quite brief. But he understands the problems. He's not going to change his system or his formation. He knows that if he is to, he's kind of going back on what he said. Ten Hag did it. Ten Hag changed the system after 2 games in his first season. And he never recovered, because he just thought, right, maybe I can get through the first season. And he did. And he did well. And he got us third, got us a trophy, got us another cup final, which kind of is overlooked quite a bit. And we were doing quite well in the Europa League, but until that game against, I think, was it Seville, and everything just fell apart. Martinez got his metatarsal, and it was like he went off, and the entire kind of European season fell apart in that particular moment. But speaking of Martinez, he's in a back 2. I think he works really well. In a back 3, I just feel like he's getting exposed left, right, and centre at the minute. So I don't even know whether he's a very, very good player, but I just think in the back 3, he's really struggling. So Amarin's got so much to figure out. Onana doesn't like to come off his line as much as maybe he should do. For a little period in the Arsenal game a few weeks back, he did make some good punches. But then, he was caught floundering, and he was caught floundering again in the Bournemouth match, and he's also been caught in this particular game. And I don't know, he's stuck on his line. Is it confidence? What is it? Is he able to turn it around? I mean, the the problems are absolutely endless. And people are talking about potentially United getting relegated. I mean, yeah, I've mentioned it before, but I can't look at that yet. I just think there's still too much of the season to go, and hopefully Amarin can turn this around and figure a way out of this. But I don't know how. I don't know how he taps into these players and gets more from it. But yeah, so all in all, it's been devastating. It's I expect it. As I said, I expect the same for the Liverpool game. I expect United to go out, suffer at Anfield badly, and just all I can do is pray that these players kind of turn up and just make a game of it. I can't see us winning it. I can't even see us getting a draw. Just put in some fight and try and come out with some respect, respect for the team, respect for yourselves. But can they? Well, time will tell. And in the Arsenal game, yeah, I mean, even if we were to stay in the game and Arsenal get a couple of corners, I mean, they'll just take advantage of our inability to defend across at the minute, which was highlighted last night. I do get it. They got a little bit of deflection on the first one, but we still should be somehow finding a way to clear that ball in the box. We weren't. Joe Linton one, it comes off the top end of his arm. Is it a goal? Probably is. But again, can't defend the back post, can't defend the middle of the box, can't defend crosses. And as I said, you could go through every player individually. You could be here all day, and maybe someday I will be here all day talking about it. But right now, I just wanted to have my piece, wanted to say my piece. As I said, guys, this is a new journey for me. I'm just starting out this path. We'll be looking at Manchester United on a daily basis, and let's see where it goes. And as I said, this is an opportunity for me to have a little bit of therapy, just to kind of talk through how I'm feeling, talk through how anyone who joins us may be feeling. So please leave your comments below. Please feel free to drop in your thoughts and anything that I've said. And when we build up a little bit of a fan base, I will then start doing live interactions, and we'll get that going too. Okay, this has been Keith from Total Football Talk. Please like, subscribe, and share the content. And with a bit of luck, I can grow and make this better. Okay, guys, thanks very much, and see you very, very soon.